So, Sabrina Ionescu, obviously a player for the New York Liberty, and now also a player for Phantom Basketball Club. Yeah, they play for the Phantom. She plays for the Phantom. But Sabrina Ionescu is on, she's on a recruiting mission. That's all I'm going to say, is she is 100% on a recruiting mission. Because Satou Sabally is probably going to be a member of the New York Liberty. Like, if Stewie might have to negotiate a bit of a smaller deal, Satou herself might have to negotiate a little bit of a smaller deal with them. But the New York Liberty are almost certainly going to get Satou. And if you guys don't want to see that, because it'll ruin the W, subscribe. We're trying to get to 40.9k subscribers by the end of the day. We're only 39 subscribers off. But anyway, we have got Sabrina, who obviously is friends with Satou. They played together at Oregon. And it's a pity with them that they never really got a chance to go for it in 2020. I think they beat Team USA going into that season in I think it might have just been a scrimmage type game, pickup game. Because I remember they went and they played all the college teams. I think Oregon might have beat Team USA. Because that Oregon team was I know Niara was injured, but it was Satou. They had, I know she didn't play very much, but Holly Winterburn as well, who's who could be in the W right now. If she wanted to be, she'd be a WNBA player. But obviously, that didn't happen. The tournament didn't happen in 2020. But it is an interesting one when it comes to that. But maybe, they didn't get a chance to win in college, but let them go and try win in the WNBA. Because Satou Sabally is 100% on, Sabrina Ionescu's on a recruiting mission. So this is what Sabrina Ionescu said regarding Satou Sabally. She said, I think my experience is a little bit different because we played together in college. I would say I'm trying to help and advise her regardless if she comes to New York or not. I've known her family really well, know her really well, and I want what's best for her. So for me, it's been kind of hearing her goals and priorities are, trying to help, be the kind of friend that can talk about the decisions she makes. I'm never going to push her one way or another, no matter how bad I want to play with her again. It's also been fun hearing through players, trying to get certain players to join teams, and you're kind of just able to hear other people's experience as well, and it's been so cool to get to know a lot of players that you know. So, she has basically said, look, I'm not going to push her. And in fairness, if she went hardcore recruiting her, obviously people would be crying tampering. But she basically says, I'm not going to tell her or push her one way or the other. But I really want her to go to New York. That's the reality of the situation, is what she said. Because I'm not going to push her, but I'm making it very clear here. I want her to play in New York. I want her to go to New York. Which, look, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen in 2026. Natasha Cloud joked she's willing to give up her apartment for Satou Sabally.
I mean, I think mine's a little bit different because we played together in college, and, I would say I'm trying to help and advise her regardless if she comes to New York. It's been fun hearing, though, players trying to get certain players to join teams, and you're kind of just able to hear other people's experiences as well. I think Taj kind of hit on it. You're surrounded by players usually you go up against, and you don't really get to know players on a kind of level that you are now, and so it's been cool to hear and get to know a lot of the players that, we're all kind of in this together.
Tosh, how do you recruit?
What's your pitch?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was gonna say the same thing. Obviously, this is the best place to be able to recruit free agents, but at the end of the day, I'm very much a person that's whatever is best for Satou moving forward, that's what I want for Satou moving forward. If that is Phoenix, I literally will tell her I will give up my apartment if she wants that too.
But yeah, that's funny. It is a funny one, but look, I'm just saying, I don't think there's I'd say these, Sabrina and Satou, I don't think Sabrina needs to convince Satou to come to New York. They definitely had conversations while in Oregon about playing together in the WNBA. There's no way those conversations didn't happen when they were playing together in college. There is absolutely no way they didn't happen. So I don't think it's she's playing, there's no chance of that. But I think just the two of them playing together again is probably enough to push Satu towards New York. And also the fact that there was literally a trade. They picked the teams, made the teams even. They made a trade just so that Sabrina Ionescu could be on the same team as Satu. Like, they literally made a trade to put them on the same team. So obviously there's some not so subtle recruiting going on. And again, I don't think it's as much as like, oh, I'm trying to poach her. I also don't necessarily think that Satu needs to be poached. Like, her sister plays on the team. Leonie Fibic plays on the team. Like, Leonie Fibic is somebody that is on their German team. She's born in New York. Her sister plays for New York. And for people saying like, oh, she could play with her sister at any time. Like, her sister goes into restricted free agency next season. The New York Liberty probably cannot afford to keep Niara Sabally next season. They almost certainly can't afford to keep Niara Sabally next season. If she wants to play in New York with her sister, next season is probably the only year they can do it, because yes, in 2026 they can probably afford to keep Satu. They probably can't afford to keep both of them, because Niara Sabally would start for a lot of teams. Like, they can't afford to keep both of them. So for Satu gets to go to New York and play with, for one season, her sister, her college, or for 1A, 1B on her college team in Sabrina, and her German national team teammate, and also like Stewie Jonquil in New York where she was born. I don't think Sabrina needs to recruit Satu to New York. Like, I think there are only two opportunities are the Fever and the Liberty, and I think once the New York Liberty give up the 7th pick, there's nothing the Fever can do to match without gutting their future, and they shouldn't do that for Satu. I'm going to be honest. There's no reason to do that for Satu. As great as Satu is, you have to think about 2-3 years down the line, which is when the Fever's real championship window is. Like, obviously they have a puncher's chance next year, but like, it's not a real championship window, for being honest. A puncher's chance and a championship window are not, I don't believe they're the same thing. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Do I think Sabrina Ionescu is out here fully trying to recruit Satu? No. But do I think Sabrina Ionescu is going to get Satu? Is going to be part of the reason why Satu Sabally joins the New York Liberty? Yep. And for people saying that the Liberty can't do it, all they have to do is trade 7 and Benijah Laney Hamilton. And look, I wouldn't trade Leonie Fibic, but I would trade for Satu, but I would trade Laney Hamilton, to be fair. But anyway, I will see you guys.